Yo, what's good my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned with yet another Kaiju number 8 video. Hopefully you guys are having an excellent, wonderful day. Today your boy DEADMANVINCE is back to crack at it once more with another unit breakdown video. If you guys do enjoy videos like these, you can go down below, you can leave a like, you can hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every single time the Deadman decides to glide. And you can also comment down below and let me know what you want to know. But guys, very obvious, today the character we're going to be breaking down is going to be Shinonome. I feel like a lot of people have not really talked about her too much, except for, funny enough, I feel like Slug has probably talked about her because I think he summoned her very early on in his gameplay, and that was just like the main unit he had to work with, and he's gotten better units since then, but I feel like he had to start working on her first. But like, she's like a AoE character basically, so we're going to go ahead and just get right into the pros and the cons of it. So guys, for some pros for Shinonome, she is an AoE unit, meaning that she has all AoE skills, I'm pretty sure. Yes, the follow-up attack is AoE, the ultimate is AoE, the combat skill is AoE, the basic skill is single target, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, 3 AoE skills, and they're like not blast at all. They're all AoE straight up, so that's very good. I do like that. Yes, before I go over the cons, I do like that. Also, we have buffs with her attacks and her kills. So I feel like there are some characters that I've read over, like Hoshina maybe, who gets more. He stacks his fierce buff, but also gets another buff after he attacks or after he kills Kaiju. I do like having the option to attack or kill Kaiju to get your buffs, and Shinonome does have that, so it's not just all locked behind a kill, because again, once you start to get to these lower tier of 5-star characters, they're just not going to have the damage to kill a Kaiju guaranteed every single time. It's not like Narumi or Reno or Sagan where I can leave an auto battle and I just know they're going to do the thing and then they're going to do the damage they need to do. Even Sagan in that, yes. But another good thing is that she is an ult rusher to some capacity, because her passives do allow her to build her ultimate up a little bit faster than other characters, even though it is kind of counteracted by her skills not giving her as much ultimate gauge when she does them. She still does have extra aspects to kind of help her rush towards that ultimate a little bit faster. Then her cons, her kit is very basic. There's not a lot of extra descriptors on her skills, so it's not doing a lot of different effects or anything of that nature. It's just a very basic AoE damage type of character. It feels like since they knew she was going to be hitting everybody all the time, even on follow-ups, they were just kind of scared to go crazy with her, which, fair play. To be fair, yeah, if you're wiping out, because I imagine at A6, she's probably like very elite, right? But at the same time, it's just like still only shooting. So shooting is the most common kind of like plating type in the game, or usually your team is going to have at least 1 or 2 shooters on it most of the time, just because of the way that the characters fight in Kaiju number 8. Speaking of, there's a new episode of Kaiju number 8 today, so I gotta watch that. But another con is she's only a shooter, which is the most common type in the game, which kind of sucks, because when you're looking for characters for your team building, are you going to look for somebody who is just a shooter straight up, or are you going to look for somebody who is a shooter and something else? Isn't it usually better to have more than one plating type, just in case? Like for instance, Narumi has slash and shooting, so whenever he hits an enemy, the 2 normal attack type platings just get broken down instead of just one stack of it, right? Because 2 different physical types are hitting it at the same time. So it's just like, do you really want to have just a straight up shooter just because they're fully AoE? Now if you have the other pieces on your team that you need to hit all of the plating types and then you want to use her as AoE, that's cool, but at that point I feel like there's just probably a better DPS for you. Then she has HP threshold based damage. One of her passives gives her extra damage, but only if she's above 80% HP. But also, I haven't used her yet, but I have an odd feeling that she's going to be squishier than the other characters, just because she's not like a fan favorite. Like, I feel, is that weird to say? I feel like all the characters in this game have been pretty accurate to the show, and she wasn't that I mean, she's a baddie, she's a mommy, you know what I'm saying? She's fine, but like, it's like she wasn't like super intriguing in the anime, so it's just like, I don't know that they're gonna make her like a super intense unit, right? But I still want to work on her and get her, you know, figure her out and everything. But yeah, that is it for the pros and the cons. We're gonna go ahead and just jump into our passives. So our first passive is gonna be Battle Hardened Experience. Each time this unit attacks a Kaiju, applies damage dealt plus 3.2% to this unit, which is not bad considering that that's only level 1. It says level 3 because I have the dupes, but that's only level 1. Getting it to level 10, that should, what would it be? How much does it increase by? It increases by 0.4%. So 0.4 times 9, because we're already starting at level 1. 0.4 times 9 would be through 3.6%. So this is gonna go from 3.2% to like 6.8%. I mean, I guess that's okay for every time you attack a kaiju, because 6.6 times, wait, 3.2 plus 3.4, yes? Yeah. 6.6 times 5 is like 33%? 6.6 times 5? Yes, that's 33% extra damage dealt. So just that passive alone can give her a potential of up to that much extra damage. So that's not that bad. But again, you're gonna read through her kit and realize how basic her kit is, and you're gonna be like, dang, like that extra damage dealt is nice, but like you're not really doing much else anywhere else. You realize that a lot of other characters have a lot of extra damage because they have something like this, but also have like an extra passive that is like stacking or something like that and giving them extra on their skills, and their skills interact with their extra passive. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, she is a very basic unit. But again, I still think there maybe is a place for her, because there's always gonna be a place for a shooter in this game. Her first additional passive, which unlocks at level cap 40. Each time this unit defeats a kaiju in battle, ultimate gauge plus 20. So that's why I was saying she gets a buff from attacking and killing kaiju, because she can get the attack buff from killing kaiju. She can get ultimate gauge buff from, attack buff from hitting kaiju, ultimate gauge buff from killing kaiju, pop that ultimate off with the attack buff, and I can't front, I do like the fact that she doesn't have a unique mechanic that stacks up until she does a certain skill and then all the stacks just diminish, right? It's not like, she does her ultimate or she does her basic skill and then all of a sudden all of your stacks of this are going. Like, no, that damage dealt is just gonna be there. Once you work it up, it's just there, and that'll pair really nicely with somebody like you're going to find out very soon that Shinonome probably needs crit rate over crit damage, because there's not a lot built into her kit for crit rate, if there's anything at all, right? But once you build her up for crit rate, other characters in the battle can still boost her crit damage, so she still has a chance to do really good damage depending on the other pieces you put with her. But the other pieces that you put with her are also better than her, and honestly, you'd probably only put her with those better pieces if you were trying to use her in like a testing aspect, right? And just test her out with those units versus using the most optimal team, if you guys are catching my drift here. The second passive, additional passive skill, which unlocks at level cap 60, is going to be at the start of the battle. This unit's ultimate gauge is plus 60, so again, just something to help her rush up that ultimate gauge and drop an ultimate, which again is AoE, so it will be spreading the damage everywhere. It'll be spreading the love everywhere. Then we have refined range control for her additional passive number 3, which, as you can see, unlocks at character level 80, or character level limit 80. While remaining HP is 70% or more, this unit's attack is plus 20%. So I said 80% earlier. I'm thinking of Mina, because Mina has a extra attack buff or damage dealt buff if her HP is above 80% or not. So I think it does make it a little bit better that this one is a lower percentage. Like, she only has to be at 70% HP, not 80%. I think that's definitely a lot more doable. I feel like she could still be above 70% HP after like 3 to 5 turns, whereas I feel like being below 80% HP happens more in the first like 2 to 3 turn range, if that unit is getting hit or if there's AoEs or something like that. So very good that 70% is the threshold and not 80%, but just gives her an attack plus 20%. But as you can see, very basic passives. I feel like every other character we've gone through, their passive has been like a paragraph, like each in this section, or at least one of these is like a full paragraph, and then the other two are like something simple to add on to it. But was Narumi's all simple but highly effective, more than likely. But yes, we're gonna go ahead and move over to those battle skills. Okay, skill 1 is going to be focus shot, and it deals damage equal to 55% of this unit's attack to a single kaiju. As you guys can see here, my ascension for this unit is A3, and from getting A3, I did get the level cap on 2 skills leveled up, but it was not the normal and combat skill. So again, there are some characters who, when you get their ascension higher, they do not necessarily get their combat and normal skill leveled up first. So you can tell from looking at this that when I get her more dupes, like when I get her dupe 5, it's going to be her normal skill, combat skill, and ultimate skill that are all going to be getting the extra 2 levels. But as of right now, I just got the follow-up skill and the passive skill with the extra 2 levels. And also, guys, pay attention to that, because usually the 2 levels that you get on the 2 skills first, like that typically I feel like is the more important skills for the character, right? And I feel like she's not going to be a main damage type of character. So low-key, I can see the merit in putting in the passive and the follow-up skill first, because the follow-up skill is always going to come after her battle buddy breaks a plating or does an ultimate, and it's always going to hit everybody, which is really good. And then also her battle hardened experience is going to give her more damage while she's helping with those follow-up attacks. So I definitely can see the philosophy behind that. Then Skill 2, her combat skill is going to be thorough sweep fire. And as you can see, guys, that first skill only gives 51 ultimate gauge. This one only gives 76 ultimate gauge, and it only costs 1 SP. But this one is an AoE attack. Deals shot damage equal to 64% of this unit's attack to all Kaiju. So as you can see, AoE skill, but very, very basic, and a pretty low damage multiplier. But it is an AoE. Let's see. If you enhance it, it goes up by 4%. So 4 times 9 is 36%. So this probably gets up to like 100%, and then once you get it to level 12 instead of level 10, it probably goes up to like 108%. So I guess that's a decent amount of damage. I guess that's okay, right? Not too bad. Then we have the ultimate skill here, which is going to be deals shot damage equal to 84% of this unit's attack to all Kaiju. And what does this go up by? This goes up by 5% each level, so 5 times 9 would be 45 on top of 84%. I guess I can actually start, like for Narumi, I won't be able to because these are all level 10 skills. But I think I can go ahead and start looking at all of the characters' skill levels and figuring out how much the rate at which their skill damage changes whenever you level up the skill, right? And then maybe I could put like in the character breakdown guides, maybe I could put this is their damage at level 1. This is their damage at level 10 skill or level 12 skill. Yeah, level 1, level 10, level 12 skill. So maybe I'll start doing something like that. But yes, this one is just an AoE to all Kaiju again. And also, after attacking, each time this unit destroys a plating, advances this unit's next action order by 10%. So that's actually pretty good. If you whittle away the mobs with all these different characters that are elemental and slashers and blunt type and all that, and you just got one physical plating left, one general plating left, I didn't mean to tap that, one general plating left, or one shooter plating left, yeah, if she hits her ultimate and not kills 3 enemies, but breaks the plating on 3 enemies or even 4 enemies, right? Does that not mean, after attacking each time this unit destroys a plating, advances this unit, does that not mean that her next action order will be advanced by 40%? I believe I'm reading that correctly. Which, if you can get her highly invested, high damage, really ripping through these enemies, she might be actually a ghoul. She might be a menace. I'm starting to read her kit. I'm starting to kind of like turn around on her because I'm just like, all of these units I feel like are niche and have their own uses and like places, right? So that's what I really like about the game, because you gotta get a little crafty with the team building. And also, guys, in 2 days we are getting our new raid battle. So be ready for raid battle and be ready for anything, because also I already did a video talking about the roadmap they gave us. We're also going to be getting a new fierce battle area October 1st, and it's limited, so there's probably going to be a new character, but this is not a video for that. I'm just saying, start working on a more diverse cast of characters, because you already know that they do content where you need 2 teams. Every gacha game does content where you need 2 teams, really, at this point. But you know that the 2-team content is there, and you know that it's going to be continually updated. So do you want to be slacking as a free-to-play player, or even as a spender, and not work on your characters just because you want to be lazy? Or do you want to work on your characters and just have a bunch of different pieces to move around as you see fit whenever you're trying to test out these stages and figure out what teams work the best? So, not saying to go run and work on Shinonome, but I'm just saying, start looking at things like level 100 units and stuff like that. It seems like it's really far away, and it is very daunting to get all the materials to get a unit to level 100. But when you finally do it the first time, you realize that I can do it, and it makes it easier to do it the next time and the next time and the next time. And as you do it more, you start to realize how many materials you really need to do that, and it just starts to make more sense. So, I mean, hey, bro, trust the dead man. I got 4 characters level 100. I got a lot of different 5-star characters like level 80 and above already in general, and I even have a bunch of 4-star characters level 90. So it's just like I know that it takes a lot of work to get all this stuff in, right? But either way, it is worth it because it makes it so easy to dwarf these stages and get the extra cubes that you need to summon later on. All right. We have the follow-up skill, deals shot damage equal to 26% of this unit's attack to all Kaiju. That's from 26% up to, goes up by 2%, 2 times 9, 18%, 44% to all Kaiju, right? So that is the only AoE follow-up attack in the game at the moment, I believe. And even if a 4-star character has an AoE follow-up attack, I'm just not going to recommend that, because if I'm gonna be honest with you, if the character is 4-star and they're not a support or not a healer, they're pretty useless. And I say healer because I was gonna say defender, but Kota Tachibana is kind of whatever. But Akari Minase, she's cracked because she heals and she also has a revive that she can give your team, or give one person on your team if they die. So she's not bad. And the other 4-star characters that are important are like supports, right? So you have the rest of the 4-star characters, which are just like odd supports, weird supports, and DPSs. If it's a 4-star DPS, bro, don't even do it. Don't even do it. In my opinion, I don't think 4-star DPS are worth it. I think we have a very nice, well thought out list of 5-star DPSs that we can even choose one of. Narumi. I think that we have, a decent amount of options for DPSs. So really your rare characters or 4-star characters, you want to focus on all of your support aspects and all that. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get over to, what would it be? The best, skill level priority. So like I was saying, passive skill is definitely going to be first just because it gives you that extra damage dealt per time you attack a kaiju, not even kill a kaiju. That's going to be the freest damage she is going to be getting there. Then your follow-up skill is just your follow-up skill. I would still probably say do the ultimate, especially because the ultimate, if it breaks kaiju, you get extra plating on it, or extra extra action order. I'm so sorry, chat. Wake up early, and this is what happens. Your mind is a million different directions at one time, and you can't get your words out. But yes, it will be the passive skill, then I would do the ultimate, then I would do the combat skill, because after the ultimate, if she does break a lot of platings and she does get a lot of priority next, I can't front of you. I'm trying to double back and just hit everybody with another AoE. So then I would level up the combat skill for that reason. Then I would do the follow-up skill just because it is the first follow-up AoE follow-up skill in the game, which is really cool. And then I'll do the normal attack last, just because the normal attack is the only single target attack she has. So her entire gimmick is about being AoE. That's the only single target skill, so does not feed her gimmick. I mean, she still attacks kaijus with her single target skill, so it does feed her gimmick overall, but like doesn't feed into the AoE gimmick. I'm gonna go ahead and say that her best set is the lizard type Unipart set. I actually don't have any Uniparts on her at all. We're finally getting to those characters that the Deadman has really not touched that much, but bars. But yes, I would recommend the lizard type set just because it gives her extra attack and it gives her extra crit rate, which I have buffers who I can run in the mission with her to give her extra crit damage. So I'm not too worried about her crit damage. And again, I think that her damage is going to be more supplementary instead of actual straight up damage, right? But if you guys want to go for some other options here, now that I'm really looking at it, since I think her damage is going to be more supplementary than, the main damage you're dealing, I guess you could go with not this one because she doesn't have any effects that she does, and not this one because she's not a defender. I would low-key maybe even say I would give her like the speed set, just because if she's already going to do low damage, it's like I'm willing to sacrifice her crits to give her more speed so that she can just keep doing her attacks and stack her stacks a little bit faster. And this would also make her a little bit more defensive, because if you're fighting a kaiju who can do like defense down, poison, any sort of debuff, this effect resistance would stop her from taking the effect resistance. And after activating combat skill, applies attack plus 12.4% to all allies. So as I just said, what if she used her ultimate, broke 4 different kaiju, got 40% priority on her next action order, and then right after her next action order, you did her combat skill to double back and do a little bit more damage to all of the kaiju, and you just set yourself up nicely for the next round because you just boosted all of your allies' attack by 12.4%. So that one could be really good if you wanted to use her in like a support type of role. If she is your only main DPS though, I would say definitely the lizard type set is what you want to do. But if you wanted to do a speed set just to get her attacks as fast as possible, then you could do the wyvern type set. I feel like she's probably she's obviously an attacker, but I feel like she's so basic of an attacker that honestly she could be relegated to support at this point if you wanted to. And she's not even a support really. Like there's not anything. She's like support damage, right? Is that weird to say? Support damage. She is not meant to be a main DPS. She is not meant to be a supporter, but she is meant to be that extra little tiny bit of damage that you do whenever your main unit does his big ultimate, but the enemy had a full health bar at the beginning of the turn, so maybe he didn't one tap and he basically one tapped. She can take the rest of that little bit away, benefit off the little bit of extra damage, and even benefit off of plate breaking. So that's why I'm saying like maybe you don't need to focus attack with her straight up, but obviously if she is your only DPS option, which she shouldn't be because you have the ticket to select any character you want. So at this point, if you have Ren Shinonome, here's what I'm saying. you have the option of trying to make her your main DPS, but it's not worth it because you can definitely just pick up a better DPS with your ticket. So at that point, do you want her to be DPS? Do you want her to be support damage? If you want her to be support damage, I'd say maybe do the speed set. And I'd even maybe say you could do this HP set because this will make her tankier. This will give her faster ultimate gauge charge rate. And I told you she's somewhat an ult buffer, right? So not only is she getting 20 ult gauge whenever she defeats a kaiju, not only is she getting 60 when she starts the battle, but then you can give her an extra 19.20% ultimate charge rate when she goes in if you wanted to just make her like an ult rusher type of unit. Then when this equipped unit's remaining HP is 50% or more, the equipped unit's effect resistance is 26.9%. So if you remember correctly, if her HP is above 70%, she has attack plus 20%. And then with this set, she would have even more HP, nearly 50% of her HP added on top. And if she's at 50% or more HP, it gives her effect resistance. So it may not seem like it all synergizes very well, but here's what I'm realizing about Ren Shinonome. The characters who are so basic that they really don't have any path carved for them, they're basic, and these are the characters that make the gear system shine. Because you just heard me say I can build her 3 different ways. Maybe I want to build her with a speedy comp, or not a speedy comp. Maybe I want to build her with an attack comp that has high crit rate, so I'm just trying to make sure I crit every time to maximize her damage. Maybe I'm trying to do a speed comp so that I can just get her as many turns as possible and try to give her as many chances as possible at hitting kaiju. But also remember that her attack is going to be a little bit lower, but then you can turn her into a support because her combat skill applies extra attack to all allies. So it's just like however you want to, not wiggle it around. That sounded crazy. However you want to switch it around, right? Then you even come down here to this set right here, which can give me extra ult gauge charge rate. So I just gave you 3 builds. The regular crit damage build, the support build, and then an ult rush build, right? So this character is actually very unique. I was gonna say diverse or unique. This character is very unique and actually makes the gear system shine. Like looking at her and looking at the gear system right now is just making me realize how magnificent the gear system is, because it's so simple, so easy, so intuitive to understand, and at a moment's notice you can really just switch to this or this and make a character this or this, and I do love that option, right? But yes, that is going to be my options for the gear recommendations. I say probably if you're using her in the most normal settings, right? Lizard type Uniparts. If you want to be a little bit extreme and test the waters on her and make her a support unit instead, give her the Wyvern type part. And if you want to make her an ult rusher, I said an ult rusher, then give her the ant type Unipart instead. I think that we could see some really unique kits from her. Damn, I want to test those out. Maybe I do that over time for her, but it's going to be kind of hard to do that over time for her because when you get rid of a Unipart, you get rid of a Unipart. So I guess by the time I get around to working on her, I'll see the landscape of my account and see what I want her to be for me, right? And guys, lastly, some of the best substats to roll for her are going to be attack, obviously, crit rate, and then shot damage, just because all of her damage is only shot based. Anything to improve her damage. I'd say even if you go with Wyvern or Ant type, still improve her damage because she is supposed to be a DPS. But if you do the ult rush, you're sacrificing the attack that you get from the set, so you want to boost her attack wherever else you can, right? So the damage is going to go down quite a bit, but at the same time, you'll be able to rush her ultimate faster with the other set, right? So you see what I'm saying? You're sacrificing bigger damage because she's not the main DPS on your team anyway for, more consistent ultimates, which I think will pan out to more damage anyway instead of her doing her basic skills. Alright guys, next up we're going to talk about her best weapon, which is going to be the GG5012. Now, before I go into this weapon, I am going to go ahead and just say it now. If you do not have this weapon, the next best weapon is going to be the 4-star weapon. I don't think you need to go as low as the 3-star weapon. You see how many copies of that I have here. But the reason why I say the 4-star weapon is going to be the next best thing to do is because no matter what, I just don't think that Shinonome is going to be a character that you're really using all the time. Like I don't really think she has a lot of longevity after you work on her and initially use her, especially whenever they start releasing feature content. I feel like she's going to look less and less impressive, but again, I still need to use her. I still need to make sure that she works out that way, you know what I'm saying? But as of right now, just from reading her kit, I don't think she's going to last as long as a lot of other characters because she doesn't have a lot of like really cool intricate mechanics. She just has a lot of basic stuff. So the reason why the 4-star is the best next weapon for her is because I don't think she is worth spending your proof of valor points on to get a Gatling gun from the shop, unless you really want to do that. But right here, shot damage is equal to, or shot damage plus an additional 26%. If there are 3 or more Kaiju on the field, this equipped unit's attack is 32.5%. And when this equipped unit activates combat skill or ultimate skill against Kaiju that has 50% or less remaining HP, it increases the equipped unit's damage dealt by 19.5%. So again, this is just another one of those things that's going to help the support or the ultimate support damage or ultimate rush comp work, is the fact that we have stuff like this on her weapon that is giving her extra attack whenever there's multiple Kaiju, and it gives her extra damage on her combat skill and ultimate skill, which that one synergizes. And this skill on the bottom right here synergizes really well with the Wyvern type speed set, because on the Wyvern type set, when you use your combat skill, it gives your allies extra attack. But with this, every time she does her combat skill, if a Kaiju is specifically under 50%, if she does her combat skill, it'll increase her damage dealt as well. So she can still kind of give herself a buff in that effect if you have her weapon on, right? But she just, I don't think has, this is still a very specific kind of like buff though, because this one is if the Kaiju is at 50% or less HP. So that one's going to be a little bit, it's not going to be harder to work out, because, but also you got to start wondering, the units that I'm running with her, are they going to be strong enough to kill the Kaiju in one tap or from over 50% HP, or are they actually going to put the Kaiju below 50% HP so she can actually get the buff from attacking the Kaiju, right? But it's a matter of, at this point, it's not even support damage then at that point. It's right. It's like, after my main DPS does their damage, is she going to even have anything to, is she going to have any scraps to eat on afterwards to do damage to even get the buff? You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, like I said, very just loose, just, I think they were just making a character that's all AoE, just so that we had something like that. Because I feel like that's a very common thing in gacha games, and people, maybe they're buying into the fact that people love AoE characters because people automatically think AoE characters are good farmers. And again, if you give her really high investment, she probably is an excellent farmer, but it's after high investment. This is a video on breaking down the unit so you can know whether you want to go with the pros or the cons. There weren't that many pros at the beginning of the video, and there weren't that many cons either, but does she still sound that impressive of a unit, you know, to you? Comment down below and let me know what you think about that. But we're going to go ahead and go to the dead man's favorite part. Alright guys, so we are here at the Ascension passives. I was about to say extension, because what is that? That's not even extension, that's exertion. Alright, anyway, we have passive number 1, skillful coordination. After causing a Kaiju to be core exposed, applies crit rate plus 20% to this unit for 2 turns. But I think that's our only crit rate buff in here. So let's continue on and you'll see why I didn't choose the fungal type set. Number 2. When attacking a Kaiju that has 50% or more remaining HP, this unit's damage dealt is plus 20%. So she does have buffs for when a Kaiju is below and above 50%, from her weapon to her Ascension to her skills, right? So that's kind of good. It kind of saves her, so she's not just floating dead in the water, but she's nearly floating dead in the water, I feel like. Then right here, as I went over earlier, her passive skill and her follow-up skill are going to be the ones that get leveled up first. Ascension 4 is going to be max stat count of damage dealt buff applied by passive plus 2. Max stat count of damage dealt buff applied by 2. Oh, that's excellent. That means that you can stack her damage not only to 5 stacks, but 7 stacks instead, which increases the percentage of extra damage that she's dealing, which I'm not even going to do the math for that right now because I can't even remember all the numbers that I worked out earlier. What was it, 6.6 times 5, so instead 6.6 times 7, so 42% plus 4.2, so 46.2%, I guess. That right there is the damage dealt that you're missing from your attack set right there, which allows her to be a support damage character and allows her to be a tanky ult rush type of character. But that is at A4. So again, high investment is what you need for that. This one's just going to be the rest of the skills, getting a level cap increase and a level increase of 2 levels. Then right here, my honor. After activating combat skill, applies crit damage plus 20% to this unit for 1 turn, and then 2, this unit's ultimate gauge plus 20. So where I would say they could have made her better is if they would have given her even more crit rate right there with this Ascension skill right here. I would say once you get her to A6, you could choose in between the lizard type and the fungal type. But since they gave the even split, like 20% crit damage here, 20% crit rate there, I don't think that you have a choice really. I think you still want to try to make sure you're maximizing the crits that you're getting. So I think that the set you're still going to go for is more than likely going to be the lizard type. Like top priority set. But again, like I said, I'm gonna work on all of my units, and I'm gonna figure out who I like where, and if I want to try to use her as a tanky ult rush character, if I want to try to use her as a wyvern type character. And this could just be an ongoing thing. I'm just being a little I'm a little hesitant about using the resources while it's so early in the game, because I know more important characters are going to come out in the future, but and it's going to suck rolling through all those Uniparts and wasting all those Uniparts. But honestly, I'll probably just give her the initial lizard type set, because I think it'll work the best for her. Then once I get an initial wave of showcase videos done for all of these characters, then maybe I'll start switching her over to other sets and going like, okay, we're trying Rin with this, we're trying Rin with this, right? Just different sets that you can try it on different characters. Maybe I'll go back and do a series where all of the characters that I said could use different sets, I try them out on their other sets. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and go on to the best battle buddy section now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that Rin's best battle buddy, guys, would you believe it? Would you believe that I'm gonna say her best battle buddy is this man, 4-star Hoshina? Come on, bro. How could it not be 4-star Hoshina? This man provides extra damage from his passive, from his passives and from his active skills as well. This man also is the best battle buddy in the game, and he is a big speed unit. So you using him beside Rin is going to give her way more speed and give her way more opportunities to hit way more kaiju, break plate way more plates, and kill way more kaiju. So 4-star Hoshina for the win, for the best battle buddy. But if you guys did enjoy this video, which I know you did because you're still here, go down below, leave a like on the video, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. And guys, y'all may not be so super ecstatic for these videos because obviously everybody can go and read these characters, but again, I would just like to have a nice little layout of information for all of the Steam players once they finally do play. I actually got 2 of my homies who came over yesterday to play some Magic the Gathering. I actually got 2 of them to download the game, play to a degree, to actually add my friend invite code. And then after they did the friend invite code, I turned around and looked at them and I was like, oh shit, you're still playing? And they're just like, yeah, I'm fucking with this. So I'm just like, yo, I'm glad I've got real life homies who are getting into it. And because I got real life homies who are getting into it, I gotta do these guides, man. And also, I have 2 homies that are waiting for the Steam version too. So the Deadman is campaigning for this game in real life, even though they have not given us a lot of content. So that means that the Deadman has faith. So Koski, don't betray that faith. But if you guys did enjoy the video, do everything that the Deadman said before. And remember, the Deadman does love ya. Y'all have an excellent day, Magic Knights.